Hey beauties, it's Allison and I hope you guys are excited about my video. I get so many questions on this topic and I'm going to kind of pair it with a product review. It's how to use a beauty blender, and do you really need the beauty blender, the actual name brand one that's $20, or will a substitute one work just as well? I'm also going to be using a stick foundation. I've never used a stick foundation with a beauty blender, so stay tuned to see how it goes. Right. So in my non-professional opinion, just an avid user of makeup in general, I have tried the beauty blender and I really don't think there's a difference between it and a lot of these dupes on the marketplace. I actually really like these ones from Sephora because they have a little bit of a contour in them and I think it just makes it easier to work with. Here's one that is wet. The number one tip I can give people: do not use a dry beauty blender. This is the dry one, this is the wet one. You see how much bigger it gets? You just want to run it under some water, squeeze it out. I actually just set mine on a towel for like a minute after I've done that, and then it's perfect. You don't want to use it like directly from the faucet onto your face. It's going to be too wet then. I also have these adorable little ones for concealer. These guys I love to apply primer on my eyes, concealer underneath my eyes. They're great if you like to do like a cream contour, some highlighting with them. These guys are awesome. And I got these, don't tell beauty blender, 99 cents from Marshall's, guys. Or maybe like $1.99, but still, like, do not pay $20 for a beauty blender in my mind. Like, I think that there are so many good dupes on the marketplace. There's probably some bad ones, but in my opinion, I've tried far more good ones than bad ones. All right, now, so for the true test, does the beauty blender work with stick foundation? Makeup Forever recently sent me some of their foundations to try. Thank you, Makeup Forever, and I have been using the Makeup Forever Ultra HD one so much. I love it. It's a new favorite of mine. So I'm gonna try out the stick version today, and I've never used a stick foundation. So on my face, I always put sunscreen on my face. I don't think any really Makeup Forever foundations have sunscreen in them, so you definitely want to do that. So I put my sunscreen on, I don't know, maybe 15-30 minutes ago, so it's definitely well absorbed into my skin, and I am just going to go in with this stick foundation and apply it to my skin. I'm going to kind of concentrate on areas where I need more coverage. Again, maybe there's a better technique, but this is what I'm going with. I'm also just going to put a little bit starting from my neck to my face. I feel like this is an area that really gets missed. So it's all applied. Oh, and by the way, the shade they sent me is 115. It says or R230, so we'll see if that's a good match or not. So far it looks like a pretty good match right now. And I'm just going to start off using my beauty blender, and one tip I will give you is not to wipe like this. You want to pat the product and move the beauty blender around pretty quickly over your skin. You want to warm it up, so to speak, on the sponge, and then kind of tap it like this. So really work it into your skin. If you're constantly going like this, you can do that a little bit, like if you have like, oh, like this area is a little hard to blend out, so I'm gonna wipe it a little bit more. But if you're constantly wiping, you're gonna get rid of all of your product, and nothing's gonna go on your face, and you're gonna end up using probably like 3 times the amount of product. A technique where that might be good to do is if you're doing like a contour where maybe you want to remove a little bit of the product in doing so. That might be a good technique. So let me finish applying this. All applied on my skin. What do you guys think? I think it looks pretty good, and I definitely think the beauty blender worked pretty well. I predominantly use this big end of it. I would get in here to do some smaller detailing maybe around my eye, but one tip I will say if you're applying foundation is to kind of towards the end of your application, take some of the leftover product on the Beauty Blender and tap it around your eye so that your eyes don't look like, you know, raccoon eyes and that they're not the same shade as your foundation. But I went in and I put a little bit more right here where I get some redness, but I think the application looks really nice. I'm actually pretty happy with the color matching. Sometimes foundations oxidize after a little bit and look like a different color, look a little bit more orangey, but I'm not really noticing that with this one. I think it looks pretty good. I'm happy with the formula, and I think the Beauty Blender did the job, guys. This is definitely one of my favorite ways to apply foundation. If you don't have one, go pick one up. I think I got this 2-pack of Beauty Blenders from Sephora for like $10. As I mentioned, I got these little guys from Marshall's, or TJ Maxx has them as well. There are some drugstore brands that make them, like Real Technique, so definitely get one if you haven't tried it yet. Last question I get asked all the time about my Beauty Blender is, how the heck do you clean these things? I have tried using regular soap and it doesn't end up very well. To be honest, it's kind of ruined the Beauty Blenders that I've had. So I really do like the Beauty Blender cleanser. I lucked out and I got this on sale. Like, I don't think it really goes on sale that often, but I was at this beauty warehouse supply store in Los Angeles and they're actually discontinuing this. So it was like 50% off, so I lucked out. But what I do, and again, I haven't found that regular soap works the same way. This this cleanser, you actually like pump it and product comes out, so a little bit of product come out, and I just wipe it right on the Beauty Blender, and then I just run this under warm water and then let it dry overnight and you're good to go. So that was it for my first impressions on this Make Up For Ever Ultra HD Stick Foundation in conjunction with my Beauty Blender. Hopefully you guys got some good tips for how to apply stick foundation with a Beauty Blender or just Beauty Blender tips in general. Definitely try one if you haven't already, and please subscribe to my channel if you guys aren't, so you'll be notified when I post new videos.